In fact, I'm feeling very well and feeling very good actually. So, which is nice. I've got this Fitbit which I bought. My wife suggested I got it, and we've got one for each of us in the house. And one of the things it does, and one of the things it makes me more aware of, is my sleep and how good or bad my sleep is. And now we've got a bit of a competition going to see who can get the best sleep score, which is, of all the competitions you can have, maybe one of the better ones. My son just put his on yesterday, so this morning he told me how his sleep was. So I'm hoping that's going to make him think about getting off his phone before 1 o'clock in the morning and maybe getting to sleep a bit earlier. So yeah, I'm very well. Thanks for asking me. Right, Yvonne said about day 5 smoking, and said she can't see it. And there is a good reason for that, because I somehow wiped the video. I don't know how I've done it. I'm sure it's somewhere in the ether somewhere. But what I have got is the audio, which I will post. You know, and I know it's not quite the same as looking at me. I know that's a joy for a lot of you. But if you just want to listen to day 5, the quit smoking thing, then let me know and I'll send it, and I will post it. Because really, you know, everything's on there, albeit you can't see me speaking, which, as I said, is, you know, I know it's a big miss, but you just have to put up for day 5. But I'll send it to you. Now, on the subject, before we get going, we've got a couple of minutes. On the subject of quitting smoking, last year, I think it was, in fact, it must have been a year ago, because I had a reminder this morning on Facebook that it was a year ago that I posted about the idea of writing what I call a Freddy Jacquin book, you know, a quit smoking book. My son and I, we train people over the world how to do hypnotherapy. And one of those things is showing people how to work with people who smoke. But anyway, I've personally seen over 25,000 people, and that's personally, one-to-one, face-to-face, seen over 25,000 people to help them quit smoking. So we put out the Freddy Jacquin quit smoking protocol. If you're interested in learning, you can learn it from our online training site at Jacquin Hypnosis Academy. But my son Anthony said to me, why don't I write a book for the public, like the Alan Carr book? And so not aimed at hypnotherapists, but aimed at the public who want to quit smoking. So it seemed like a good idea, but I started to write it, and you know, I got in the flow, and within 2 or 3 hours, I'd written like 5,000 words, but it was pretty much everything that I do in the way of smoking. But it's only 5,000 words. It's not a book. It's a booklet. And I also did the audio that goes with it. So I sent to a friend in Rome, Felicia, and she loved it, and she, off her own bat, without asking me, she recorded it and translated the booklet into Romanian and Italian. So because she did that, I just put it on Facebook. You know, I've got this wonderful friend, she's done this for me. And overnight, we had like 20 or 30 people offering to record it and translate that book into different languages. Now, the idea of this book is that it's free. I call it an honesty project, because you can go online, and anyone you know smokes, anyone that you want to help quit smoking, they can go online, worldquitsmoking.com. I'll write it down for you later. You can download the booklet and download the audio, and you can do that now in over 20 languages, including Hindi, Gujarati, Hungarian, Hebrew, I think it's in, and it's also in American Sign Language. Scott Betchell, he actually decided he's going to do it in sign. So even if you're someone who's deaf, they can go online, they can download that booklet and quit smoking. Now the thing is, it's free, and I'm said on there, if when you quit, and it's only when you quit, because it's an honesty project, if you want, you can donate £10, and every pound of that, or every penny of it, goes to children's cancer charities. So that's the idea. You know, it's now gone all around the world, and you can go online if you know someone wants to quit. Even if you want to learn my method of quitting smoking, you can go online, download that booklet, download the audio, listen to it, quit smoking, and only if you want, because I will never know, you can send 10 quid, and every penny of that money goes to children's cancer charity. So anyway, while we're on the subject of smoking, I thought I'd tell you that. Now, it's 11 o'clock, and so thanks everyone for joining me again today. And I've got to thank you, all of you who have joined me over the last 14 days of doing these things. And, you know, without someone to speak to, it'd be a bit stupid me sitting here and spouting out. But it's great that you've joined me. I hope you're getting benefit from it. What I'm going to talk about today is how to be the best version of you. Now, this is not about manifesting wealth, because this is not how to be the wealthiest you. This is about how to be the best version of you. And by that, I mean the kindest, the most loving, the most caring, you know, the fittest, the most healthy you. You know, there's so many things online about how to get rich, how to be wealthy, how to have this and have more. You know, and I posted something the other day, which I said, you know, instead of asking the question, how much more can I have? If we ask the question, how much more can we be? Then the world has to change for the better. And so today is about finding out how to be the best version of you. You know, that's not the best version of me. That's not the best version of the person next to you. It's the best version of you. And I am going to ask you some hard questions. And it might be painful to ask these questions of yourself. And some of you, if you've got a sort of sensitive disposition, you might not want to listen to this, because I'm going to ask you to ask these questions of yourself. And sometimes it's hard. But one of the things that I think this isolation's done, and one of the things this social distancing's done, is given us a bit of space to look at ourselves, our behavior, the way we are, you know, the way we act. Because generally, the majority of us, we're out of the house. You know, we get lost in the crowd. We can hide our insecurities and our problems and our faults in the crowd. When we're isolated, we have to face those things. So I think that's one of the reasons I decided on the last day of these sessions to run this. You know, and when I say how to be the best version of yourself, the reason I say that, and imagine, I mean, how many people, 50 people on this session today. Imagine that we're all sitting in a room and we're all sitting next to each other. And let's say that you're sitting next to someone there. And I ask you to do this simple thing. Take your shoes off and swap them with the person sitting next to you. You know, that would seem very odd. And not only that, the chances, let's say Bob sitting next to Alan, Amanda's sitting next to Bahia, Ben's sitting next to, let me see who he's sitting next to. Ben's sitting next to Beryl, Camille's sitting next to Caroline. Imagine the chances of their shoes fitting you would be pretty slim. The chances of their shoes suiting you would be even more slim. But the chances are that your shoes might be your favorite shoes. You love those shoes. When you wear them, you feel confident in them. They suit you, they fit you, but they're individual to you. And the chances of my goals fitting your goals are the same as my shoes fitting your feet, never mind suiting your style. And it's the same with all of the things in our life. That's why I'm saying the best version of you, not the best you can be, you know, not compared to everyone else, but the best version of you. And we're going to ask some questions of you, and you're going to have to face some truths, maybe. You know, one of the best wordsmiths ever, I think, was Churchill. And one of his quotes, and I love this quote, "The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance deride it, but in the end, there it is." I love that quote, because we can, you know, go around truths, we can ignore the truth, but the fact of the matter is, nothing is going to change that truth. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance deride it, but in the end, there it is. And we have to face these truths. You know, one of the things that people come and see me for, I don't normally come and see me, but part of their behavior is anger management. And this is one of the things about anger. And you can believe, you can, you know, agree with me or not, it makes no difference. But anger, for me, is one of those behaviors that's very, very self-indulgent. And the majority of people, when they come and see me, they say, well, I've got an anger management problem. And I say, well, who do you bring this anger out with? And they say, well, I take it out on my kids, take it out on my wife, people who are working under me, I take it out on them. And I asked a simple question. Would you speak to your boss like that? Would you speak to your boss like you speak to your wife? Would you speak to your boss like you speak to your children? Would you speak to your boss like you speak to the people who are working under you? Because if the answer to that is no, then all we are bullies. And it's a hard fact to face. But we generally take our anger out on the people that love us the most. The people who are not going to walk away from us. That put up with our bad behavior. And so I'm going to ask you that question, because some of you will suffer from anger. And you have to ask the question, where do I vent that anger? And who do I vent it with? And maybe from now on, understand it for what it is. It's a very indulgent emotion, if you like. We might feel it, the frustration of what's going on and whatever's around us. But to ask the question, the next time you go and vent that anger, would I speak to my boss like this? And if the answer is no, then do yourself a kindness, do the people around you a kindness, and rein it in and decide that you're going to take control of that. The things we've been teaching and talking about over the last 14 days are all going to come together in this session today, where we're talking about being the best version of ourselves. We can dream about things, and we can dream about having a better physique. We can dream about earning more money. We can dream about being better behaved. But until we take action on those things, nothing's going to change. How many people sit and they watch the Olympics and they think, oh, I'd love to be able to run as fast as that. And while they're thinking that, they're eating a bag of crisps and they're sitting in a chair. We have to think about what we want. And as human beings, and I mean this sincerely, there's very little we cannot achieve if we set our minds to it. Obviously, there are natural things that we can't change. Otherwise, I'd be taller and I'd have a lot more hair. But there are things we can change. And those things are just about how badly do I want it? What am I willing to forego to achieve it? Last Sunday, we spoke about physical goals and achieving physical goals. And one of the things that I said then, if you weren't with me then, was I want you to become a connoisseur of life, a connoisseur of your food. Now, if you went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and he served you out a tiny little bit of food like this, albeit highly decorated, for about 150 or 200 pounds, you're not going to get a dessert spoon and go whoop and do it in one mouthful. Because someone special's cooked it, and because you're in that special restaurant, you're going to savour every mouthful. And what I'm suggesting to everyone out there is we're going to start to savour everything we have in our life, the people around us that love us, to savour every moment. We don't know. In this time, people are losing people. They never expected to lose. So let's start to do what we do with if we went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and we're eating a plate of food. Let's do that when we eat our own food. Let's do it when we have a glass of wine, instead of just thinking, I'm just going to drink this, without even thinking. And one of the things that I say to people who come and see me who want out with drinking, I say this: the moment we are drinking without thinking, that may as well be a glass of water or a cup of tea. Start to become a connoisseur of the food we eat, the things we drink, our bodies. Treat yourself to a healthy body. This is something we can all do. And it doesn't take a lot of work to do that. We could say 30 minutes a day to do some exercise, 15 minutes of aerobics. And by that, I mean hoovering a house faster, or taking the dog for a walk a bit faster, or just going for a swim, or whatever it is when we get free of this. But whatever your body is burning calories up at, after a 30-minute aerobic exercise, and as I said, that can be doing your housework quicker. That can be having 30 minutes of dance. It can be anything, gets your heart working for 30 minutes. Your body will continue to burn calories at that rate for the next 48 hours. And that's why people want to go to the gym once a week, they never really achieve much. You're better off doing 15 minutes a day consistently than you are doing an hour and a half once a week. And we've got to find this time for ourselves. You know, a lot of things we've been talking about this week is about self-worth, valuing yourself, taking care of yourself, being kinder to yourself. Why not treat yourself to the healthiest body you can be? And again, we're talking about the best version of you. You know, I can do whatever I want to do at this age, and I can exercise and I can do all those things. But my 68-year-old body is never going to be the same as my 28-year-old body. But I can have the best version of this 68-year-old body that I can have. I can be that. You know, but it takes consistency. It's foregoing certain things. And it's taking responsibility. You know, I said to my wife some time ago, I said, "You're making me fat." And she just laughed at me. And she said, "Well, you know, you'd complain if I didn't make you nice dinners. You'd moan if I didn't put nice things in the cupboard and the fridge." And she's absolutely right. You know, if I want my body to be a certain way, then I have to decide to do it. You know, one of the things that a lot of my clients say to me, and you'll have heard yourself saying it, I know you will, because we're all human beings. You know, I would lose weight if only my wife didn't cook so many potatoes. I would lose weight if my boyfriend didn't buy me chocolates. I would lose weight if I didn't have it, if I had a bit more time. I would be financially better off if only this happened. I would be this if only that happened. And one of the things about that line, if only, if that if only is outside of your own head, then all we are victims of circumstance. The moment we say, "I am taking responsibility for my happiness, my body, my health, my wealth," then we can change it. All the time we are saying, "If only, I would, if only, this would happen, if only that hadn't happened." You know, once we bring this back to ourselves and taking responsibility for it, and it's important if we want to have the best health we can have, if we want to have the best life we can have. And as I said, I'm going to ask you some hard questions. You know, the first one was about anger, because most of us indulge ourselves in it at some point. And it's a very simple question for me, and it's a hard question to face. If you are speaking to someone you love in a way that you would not speak to your boss, then all you are is a bully. And it's hard to take, but that's the truth. And so it's time to say, okay, have a look at ourselves. Let's see what we can be, okay? So, you know, we spoke about smoking. Someone asked earlier about the smoking on day 5. And we spoke about unconscious programming, the way we learn things, and we accept it for what it is. You know, as we grow up, our belief system is shaped by the people around us. I've often said this: if you take a child out of away from its mother in London at birth without telling her, and you swap it with a child in Basra, you know, the children would be growing up, the same child would grow up with different religious beliefs, different political beliefs, and different ways of thinking. And yet for them, that would be in stone, that would be in concrete. This is my belief, it's true. But nothing's changed except for the environment and the people that bring you up. So we need to question our beliefs. And for me now, you've probably heard me say it a few times, I'm not a religious person. For me now, this is the only belief that matters. Does this belief empower me? Does this belief help the people around me? Because if it doesn't empower me, if it's not something that's helping the people around me, I understand that I can put that belief down and choose to believe something else. Imagine that if everything that holds you back, every limiting belief that's ever held you back, once you understand that was probably just a suggestion given to you by someone else, and you can choose to believe something else. So the question's simple. Are the beliefs that are holding you in a certain stuck state, are the beliefs that are stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve, do they empower you? And if the answer is no, you can say, I can just put that belief down and choose to believe something else. Because you didn't come into this world with that belief. That was probably placed on you in the same way as most of our limitations are given to us or suggested to us. Some are self-suggested, I agree, but the majority of our beliefs and our limitations are suggested by someone else. And you can say to yourself, today's the day when I'm going to look at these beliefs. I'm going to ask the question, does this belief empower me or not? And if it doesn't, you can put it down and you can say, I choose to believe something else. That's how our brain, that's how our brain is. Nothing, let me tell you this because it's true. Nothing exists outside of your skull except as perception. Your brain is in an airtight, sealed box, if you like. Nothing gets past it. If anything is covered with a membrane, if anything gets past that membrane, the chances are you're going to be very ill. Nothing exists outside of your skull except as perception. Earlier I was talking about quotes from Winston Churchill. And another quote I saw when I was thinking about this, and this is from Shakespeare. The man was around 500 years ago. People still read his works. People still quote him. And I'm going to quote him now because this is a quote. He must have been thinking the same thing as I'm just been explaining to you. He said this: I could be bound in a nutshell and still consider myself king of infinite space, were it not for bad dreams. He understood, nothing exists outside of our head except as perception. And that includes emotions, that includes beliefs, and we can decide what empowers us. Today I'm going to ask you, as I'm talking to you now, and you are going to do it, I want you to start thinking about the best version of you. What would that person look like? I'm not asking you to say, okay, well, the best version of me, I'll be 24. If you're 54, because that's ridiculous. But the best version of you right now, at the age you are, in the situation you are, what would be the best version of you? I'm going to ask you to start thinking about that and start to picture that in your mind. Because the chances are you absolutely can be that. And there is only one question with this: how badly do I want to feel that good? Some of you will be therapists and some of you are medical people. The most important criteria when people come to see me is they have to want to change. Doesn't matter how ill they are. I've seen people with their leg off from smoking, people with their face off, their jaw off, their eye out from smoking, who still smoke. That's not been a big enough reason for them to quit smoking. And it's the same for everything. We have to decide that I really want to change, because otherwise nothing's going to happen. No matter how much someone else can want you to be well, no matter how many doctors can work on you. We've seen this, because if you've been past the hospitals and you see those people standing outside with a drip or with oxygen and smoking a cigarette, it doesn't matter what those medical people do for that person. It doesn't matter how badly they want them to be well. If that person has not decided that they're at threshold where they've had enough of living like they live, then nothing's going to change. So I'm going to ask you today, and you're going to do it over these next few minutes as I continue to rattle on at you, to just start thinking about what would be the best version of you. How would that person look? How would they be physically? How would they be mentally? How would they be, if you want to go to that stage, how would they be financially? But as I said to you a moment ago, this is not about how good you can, how much money you can earn or how wealthy you can be. Because the one thing that's come out of this virus is that none of that stuff matters to the virus. It has no consideration of how much money if you're that guy from Amazon who's got 138 billion pounds, if he goes out without a mask on, if he starts socially mingling with people, he's got as much chance of dying as you and I. Doesn't matter how much money he's got. And it's the same. It doesn't have this virus. It knows no borders. The imaginary border between Pakistan and India, it doesn't know about that border. It doesn't know about the border between Southern Ireland and Northern Ireland, or Turkey and Syria or Iraq and Iran. It doesn't know any of that stuff. It doesn't care. It does not care. And it has no concept of your wealth or not. And this is one of the things that we should all understand from this, that in this situation, what we should really understand is that we are one species. We are one lot. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what country you come from. This virus has brought us all to exactly the same level, which is human beings. It has no concept of wealth or nationality or color of skin. And what we should now start to understand is we're in this together, and we need to start thinking as a species as opposed to religious beliefs and countries. And then we can all start to live our lives and have a better life out of this. So I'm going to ask you to, just for a moment, put down any of your limitations, put down any of your negative limiting beliefs, and start to think about the best version of you. What would that person sound like? How would they be behaving? How would they look? How would they be? Because you absolutely can do it. You know, if it's a physical goal, it might take you 6 months, it might take you a year. But if you decide today that you want to have that body, then you absolutely can do it, because we're an organism. And it's a very simple organism. If we take in less calories than we are burning up, we are going to lose weight. That's as simple as it is. There are two ways of doing that: eat less or move more. You know, I would suggest you do both. But this is not just about our physical being. It's about us as a holistic organism. And I want you to get into this today. As I've said, things are going to come into play today. We spoke about anchoring. You know, once you get into that state of mind where you decide that you want to be the best version of you, and you're feeling that, and that steely determination, and you have a clear goal, then anchor it like we did yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. You know, when we're talking to ourselves, think about the thanks protocol and start utilizing that. Even as you're going about your day, when you're walking from one place to the other, just repeat those words in your mind. Now, I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. And aim it at yourself. And when you're working with your clients or your patients, you know, it's so easy to just get into the words and get into the routine of what we're doing. And the human disappears out of that. I want you all to start thinking about it. When we're working with a client, you know, get into it and aim those words. You don't have to say it out loud, but hold it in your heart. You know, I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. You know, if you think it's legitimate to say it, then say it. But you should be thinking about it. You should be aiming this at yourself. When we spoke about the smoking and the programming that goes on, understand it for what it is. It's just a learnt behavior. It's not real. It's not set in concrete. And we can go inside with a self-hypnosis, which we taught you this week. Hear the word relax 4 times in your mind. Go into self-hypnosis and then ask your unconscious mind to make those changes that will allow you to achieve what you want and let you free of the old programming, because that is what this is about. You know, we can say we're more than a computer. Of course we are. You know, we have emotions, we have feelings, but we are at the very base of our being programmable. And that's what happens. That's what enables us to function at the level we function as human beings, to be able to learn complex things like driving or riding a bicycle or reading or writing or speaking languages. That's what enables us to do that. But where sometimes it works against us, when we learn something, you know, maybe as a teen or as a child, and then that learned behavior becomes redundant. You know, like we have a doctor on here, and I've written these books for children. They're called the Mesmers. I've written 2. They're out on Amazon. How to use some kind of hypnotic language to help our kids overcome fussy eating and fear and anxiety. And someone posted it again because it was out last year. And and on it is asking for ideas that kids could use. What could you use to help kids? And someone was saying about like self-harm, you know, pulling eyelashes out or pulling their hair out or picking their skin. You know, things that at some point in that child's life may have given them some comfort, But now as a teenager or an adult, it's a redundant piece of programming. And of course, with hypnosis, and not just with hypnosis, but with the understanding of how our mind works, we can change those habitual behaviors. So I'm asking you to do this for yourself. You already know how to go into self-hypnosis. If you don't, then look back at the session we did on self-hypnosis. Train yourself to do it. Go in, look at those programs, ask your unconscious mind, as strange as that may seem, to make these changes, to change that program to something that's more beneficial. You know, when people try to quit smoking cold turkey or stop smoking cocaine or cannabis or any of these other drugs, when they try and do it cold turkey, it's hard, because all they're doing is ignoring the piece of programming. The program is running. At this time, have a cigarette. At this time, have a joint. At this time, have a drink. The program is set, but we can, through self-hypnosis, go in and change that piece of programming. And I say to my clients who smoke, I say, imagine if 20 times a day, that part of you that runs that smoking habit just reminds you to have a glass of water, or reminds you to do something that's beneficial for you. We can change this programming to something that's beneficial for us. You know, act as a personal fitness guru and remind you all the things you need to do to stay fit and well. We can utilize these programs, and they're powerful programs to help us in different ways. So we've talked about internal, unconscious programming. We've talked about the thanks protocol, which you can use on yourself every day. You don't have to do it when you're going to sleep or waking up in the morning. You can use that thanks protocol on yourself as you're walking down the street. And why would you not do that? You know, if you've got a load of junk mail going around in your head, then why not change it for something that's beneficial for you? Your brain's never quiet. You're always going to have this chatter going on in your brain, but you can change it to something positive for yourself. And as I said, use self-hypnosis and use anchoring for when today, and I help you go in hypnosis, and you discover the best version of you, and you get a clear picture of that person, you can anchor that feeling and that steely determination. And it's consistency. It's about doing something every day towards your goal. I don't know if it was Zig Ziglar, but one of those brilliant kind of motivational guys from the 80s. He said, you can, within a 2-year period of your life, you completely change your life. Now, you could learn another language. You could learn to play the guitar. You could achieve your perfect physical shape in any 2-year period of your life. I see teenagers who come to see me, and it's a joy when teenagers come to see me, because a lot of the people I see are toward the end of their life, who have spent 50 years afraid of this or afraid of that, who have spent 50 years smoking cigarettes, who have spent 50 years not living the way they should live. So when I get a teenager in my therapy room, it's a real joy, because, and I say this to them, I ask the question, maybe a 17-year-old, I say, what could you not achieve in the next 5 years if you really set your mind to it? I said, it only leaves you at 22 years old, and you could have 2 more languages. You could be playing the guitar. You could be this or that, and it only leaves you at 22. But no matter what your age you are and you're watching this, you know, what could you achieve in the next 2 years if you really set your mind on it? What would be the best version of you? Forget about everyone else. Put everyone else's thoughts out of your mind, what they think might be the best version of you. Ask yourself that question of yourself. What is the best version of me? How would I be? How would I look? How would I feel? How would I be behaving? Because that is something you absolutely can do. And as I said, things that had seemed important to us, how much money we're earning, what kind of house we're living in, you know, what kind of car we're driving, what kind of clothes we're wearing. This virus has suddenly gone, we don't care about that. It's not really important. That's not who you are. You know, for me, when people come to see me, I don't care what they come to see me with, whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be, life goals, whatever. The bottom line is, are you happy as you are? That's the question. It's the only one question. Are you happy? The majority of us spend our lives doing things in order to be happy. And there's a guy called Michael Niels who wrote a book years ago, How to Be Happy Now. And it's a great book if you want to read it. I'm sure it's Michael Niels. But he said, if you're doing things in order to be happy, you're doing them in the wrong order. And he's absolutely right. You know, find the things that you can be happy about right now. The fact that you're well, if you're watching this. The fact that maybe you've got people who love you. Maybe the fact that maybe you know, whatever it might be, that today's a sunny day. You can go out in your garden and enjoy it. But whatever it is, find the things that you can be happy about now. That doesn't stop you from striving to have the house you want, or the car you want, or the clothes you want, or the money you want, or the body you want. But if all you're doing is working in order to be happy, what you're actually saying to yourself, I'm not happy now. So start to think about the things that you can be happy about right now, the things that we can appreciate and be grateful for right now, and start to feel that today. And start to take that into everything you do, because that's going to make a difference to you and the people around you. So I hope by now, as I've been talking, you've started to think about how you really want to be. Because in a moment, all I'm going to do is hypnotize you so that you can get in touch with all of your own resources, your own inner strengths, your own inner abilities, so you can achieve that goal, because you absolutely can. Now, I'm not saying that if you're 70 years old, that you will have the body you had when you were 17 years old. Understand what I'm saying here. I'm talking about being the best version of you right now, at the age you are, in the situation you are, and maybe how you would like to progress from there. If you're young and you're watching this, drop any of those limitations, because there really aren't any for you. What do you want to do? How do you want to be? Because that is the only question. How badly do I want it? And what am I willing to do to make that happen? They're the only questions we have to ask ourselves. So enough of me rambling on and ranting on. If you're ready to get into this with me and discover somewhere in your mind the best version of you, and then discover the resources you have that will allow you to do that, I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to look at all of your beliefs and see which ones are holding you back or stopping you from achieving what you want. I'm going to ask you to look at those beliefs and decide, simple question, is this empowering me? And if not, think, okay, well, I can put that down and I can decide to believe that I can do this. I can achieve this. I can be a better version of myself. Okay? So if you're ready to get into this with me today, I would like you once again, before we do this, thanks all of you for joining me. And look on this as a bit of time out for you. It's Sunday here. I don't know where it is where you are in the world, but it's probably Sunday. Even if you're in Australia, it's maybe late at night, but it's Sunday. Allow yourself this bit of time for yourself today so that you can just lose yourself for a while. A bit of respite from any cares and worries around you. Just for the next 30 minutes or so, allow yourself the pleasure of putting everything else out of your mind and just focusing on you for a moment. Because the chances are you don't do that enough. So I want you just for this 30 minutes to understand it's okay to focus on you. So you can be the best person you can be, so you can be the best person for the people around you, okay? So I want you to do this. Get comfortable. Once again, make sure you're in a safe place. If you've got anything hot on your lap, put it off your lap. Place your hands separately, place your feet separately. And when you're ready to make these changes for yourself and for the people around you, I want you to take that breath in. Now, you know how to do this because some of you have been with me for the last 14 days. And allow yourself to breathe out, but only as quickly as you're ready to make these changes. Take that breath in. As you breathe out, allow your eyes to close. Only as quickly as you're ready to allow yourself to be the best version of you. That's right. And just focus on those muscles around your eyes. And let those eyes relax completely once again. Remembering those experiences of hypnosis you've had with me and how it's felt to sit and listen to my voice speaking to you. Remembering the sounds and the words and how it felt as you drifted into that wonderful space. Just for a while, nobody wants anything, no one expects anything, and there is nothing for you to do but to relax. And let that feeling of relaxation just go down through your body now. Imagine that feeling of relaxation is just flooding your body like a bliss anesthesia. Imagine you're just dropping down through space and time. Nothing bothers or affects you, nothing disturbs you. All that matters now is you, the sound of my voice, and that feeling of freedom. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. 10, 20, 100 times deeper now. That's right, because with the eyes closed, you can begin to relax. Although at times you may be more aware of some things than you were before. The sounds in the room. The sound of my voice. Sounds outside the room. The comfort of the chair. Certain sensations. The beating of your heart. And the thoughts and images that drift into the mind automatically. Once again, think about the people you love, people that love you. And see those faces now, see those smiles, feel that love. Let that feeling of love flood your body with that feeling of relaxation. And as you feel that love, as you see those faces, every negative, limiting belief that you or anyone else ever placed on you that's ever held you back starts to disappear from your body and your mind. Because with the eyes closed, it becomes easier to become more and more aware of a variety of things that otherwise may go overlooked or ignored. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, the love you may have overlooked before. As the unconscious mind starts that letting go even of the effort it takes to be aware of exactly where the arms are positioned or the hands or fingers, even the effort it takes to be aware of which leg seems to relax more quickly or completely than the other, may seem to be too much effort to bother making. But it takes time to experience that letting go. Your own time in your own way, as you continue to learn, even more than before, about your abilities, your capacities to learn as you relax. And the mind begins to drift down toward a place of quietness, a place of peaceful inner awareness, a place that almost seems to give off signals that directs awareness down toward it, into it, more and more comfortably, more and more effortlessly, more and more completely and deeply than before. Where even the effort it takes to be aware of the sound of my voice or the meaning of my words may almost seem to be too much effort to bother making. It's so much easier simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. Allowing events to occur in your own time, in your own way, but drifting down. Deeper, deeper, deeper down now. Imagine you're just dropping down through space and time, down toward that place of total bliss. The deeper you go, the better it feels. And as you drift even deeper, my voice and my words will drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Every word I say just doubles that incredible feeling. Everything I say now becomes your reality. Every suggestion I give you, you'll act upon and carry out without hesitation, is now your reality. Because you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind, the back of the mind, can continue to hear, to understand, respond to those things I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own way, as you drift as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. See yourself out there being the best version of you. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Go and step into that body and feel what it feels like to be the best version of you. To have that feeling of kindness and love and strength, that creativity. Step into that body, feel what it feels like. See what you'd see as you experience that there in the future. And look back to now and notice the changes you made along the way that led to that wonderful feeling of freedom, empowerment, joy, confidence. Feel it now. The unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur, while the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. That's right, in your own time, in your own way. Aware of events that occur along the way. As the unconscious mind utilizes that opportunity to alter your awareness and to continue that learning in whatever way is the right way for you. Learning that feeling of letting go. The understanding that you can just put down a limiting belief. Learning that feeling of letting go. To understand you have the ability to ask the question, does this belief empower me? Does it help the people around me? Does it help me be the best version of me? And understand that if it doesn't, you can just put that belief down and choose to believe something that does empower you. The unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur. And as you drift deeper and deeper now, I can wonder whether you're aware that you drifted deeply into hypnosis. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And as you drift even deeper now, you can use your unconscious mind as a resource that you can learn from and really have an experience, one that's satisfactory to you. And so as you drift even deeper, once again, I'd like your unconscious mind to allow you to see yourself being the best version of you. Notice the way you move. Notice the way you breathe. Notice the way you speak. Notice the way you act when you're being the best version of you. Let go of every negative, limiting belief and see yourself achieving that goal of being the best version of you. Step into that body and feel what it feels like. See what you'd see when you've achieved that feeling. Feel what you feel. Hear what you'd hear. See the faces of the people around you, people that love you. And notice the changes maybe in that relationship when you are being the best version of you. Things that had seemed hard to do turn out to be surprisingly easy. As every limitation drops away, every negative limiting belief that was ever placed on you, that's ever held you back, drops away. And you see it for what it was. A piece of programming, not even designed by you. And I'd ask your unconscious mind now to make whatever changes to that programming that will enable you to be the best version of you. Your unconscious mind to go to the part of you that dreams, that has ideas, that makes plans, and allow that wonderful creative mind to come up with some new choices. Different ways of behaving and living that will empower you to be the best you can be, the best version of you, to have that life that you want, that part that protects you. Search and find new ways of making sure that you're safe and well and your family's safe and well, but at the same time allowing you total freedom from every irrational fear, anxiety or doubt. And each time it identifies a new choice, I want it to integrate those new choices into your body and your mind. I'd like the part of you that's responsible for your immune system to make those changes at a molecular cellular level that will allow your immune system to work at the optimum level for you so you can stay safe and well. And I want your unconscious mind to make those changes within you now. And you may even become aware of those changes taking place. Maybe a change in your body temperature, or a change in the way you think, or the way you breathe as you go even deeper into that feeling now. And once again, as your unconscious mind makes those changes that will enable you to be the best version of you, go out there into the future, see yourself having achieved that goal of being the best version of you. And I want you for a moment just to watch yourself. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Step into that body. Experience that feeling of being the best version of you. And as you do that, I'm going to repeat those words again. And as you hear me saying those words, you're going to aim them at yourself and know that it's okay to feel that good. I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. And from today, you're going to continue to hold that thought and understand that you are worth it. You are worth being well for. You are worth taking care of. And so as you drift in that space now, it may be interesting for you to think about what you've experienced today. The thoughts, the understandings, the learnings, how you're going to use these things from one day to the next. Because you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind, and those two minds will learn from your experiences here today. Some things that you can utilize to deal more effectively with those things that had been a problem for you before. So it's your privilege. Use this experience. Think about the things you can do. Strengths, abilities, skills, the love that you may have overlooked before, that will allow you a clear view of the possibilities of a new way of living, a new way of being, when you are being the best version of you. Take that time now, a brief time, Seems to be a long time to review, plan at some level of awareness the things you're going to change later on, things you're going to do later on, as you continue to use more and more of you. Take that time now. Go with your unconscious as often as you need to know that you can achieve that wonderful feeling. Only when the unconscious mind knows and has made those changes that will enable you to have that life you want, to be the best version of you, and allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made. Because in a moment, I'm going to count to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, you'll act upon and carry out without hesitation is now your reality. On 8, your eyes will open and you will feel like you've had a ton weight lifted. And on 10, that feeling of freedom and empowerment and joy is going to grow stronger throughout the day as you move toward the best version of you. So get ready. So count to 10. On 8, your eyes will open. You'll feel incredible. And on 10, that feeling is going to grow stronger throughout the day. A feeling of love, joy, freedom, empowerment. Get ready. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful now. 2, to achieve the best version of you and do it effortlessly. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limitation that ever held you back. 4, feel the force of that joy and love through every cell, every fiber of your body now. 5, feeling incredibly alive. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely wonderful. 9, 10. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed the experience today. And if you've joined me over these last few days, this last couple of weeks, that you've enjoyed these sessions together. Thank you once again for joining me and taking part in these sessions. If you know anyone who smokes, send them to the worldquitsmoking.com. It's very simple, worldquitsmoking.com. It's free for anyone to download. And there's, you know, if they quit, and only if they quit and they want to, they can donate £10, or as much as they like, to be honest with you. But all that money goes to children's charities. So if you know someone wants to quit doing that, if you know someone who wants to boost their immune system, pretty much the same people who helped me with the Quit Smoking booklet and translating that into different languages, took part in the immune system boost thing that I did online. And there's at least 20 languages where you can go online, just take the time out, use your own natural abilities to boost your immune system, and both those things are free to use. Okay, I know you're going to enjoy it, and I say people all around the world have taken part in that. The immune system, again, it's in Hindi, Gujarati, Russian, Hungarian, and it's also again in American Sign Language. So have a look at these things. I've been asked to do these maybe once a week or once a month or something, and I'll let you know if I'm going to do it. And if you want to join me, you can do. But either way, you know, use these techniques I've been teaching you and helping you with over the last fortnight to change the way you think and feel. Be the best version of you, whatever that might be, okay? And trust that whatever you want to be and whatever that best version of you is good enough. It doesn't have to be any more. You know, trust that you're a good enough person. Treat yourself with the kindness you treat other people. Want for yourself what you want for your own children and people you love, and you will stay well, okay? Stay safe. Let's keep doing what the medics are asking us to do so we can get through this. And remember, the virus, it doesn't care how much money you've got, where you live, what color your skin is, or what religion you are. So just understand that we are one species. Let's come out of this with a new understanding and treat everyone, race, creed, religion, in the same way we want to be treated ourselves, and then we'll all have a happier life. Okay, so thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll look through the chat box. If there's any questions, I'll answer it. Let me just look. There's one question there. How to improve regularity versus goal reaching? It's excellent meditation exercise, and thank you for doing it. Okay, right. So pretty much, as I said, be consistent in what you want. Trust that you are enough. You've got enough resources in you to achieve it. But more than anything else, find what you can be happy in now. And if you hear yourself saying, I'll be happy when, change it. So I can be happy now. I can find those things, even if it's the smell of the flowers outside, or the feeling of the sun on your face, or the love that you have from the people and your friends. Find what you can be happy about now. Doesn't stop you from wanting other things, striving for things, but that your life no longer depends upon those things to be happy. Okay, once again, stay well, be happy, and stay safe. And I'll see you hopefully on the other side of this craziness we're going through now. Okay, but be happy. See you soon. Take care.